Hey guys, this is Tim Fraser. I'm with Forsys, and I'm here to invite you to the upcoming Reimagine conference on July 15th. We want to basically help our customers understand the end-to-end problems that exist in the CPQ arena, which is the configure price quote, specifically configure quote to cash, the middle office problem, right? So if you're not sure what that is, let me give you an example of where the problems lie, okay? So let's just say you have a sales team and they've just been working for months to close on a deal, and the deal basically comes down to the customer's ready to sign. They have an idea on what the products they want to buy. You've done some initial spreadsheet analysis on how things what you're going to sell and how you're going to sell it, right? But the deal's not complete till you actually think about how you're going to package it as a quote. Okay. Either if the customer's ready to order, that's great. But most of the customers who are at the enterprise B2B commerce, they're looking for quotes, they're looking for prices, looking for discounts. So here's the journey on the yellow brick road. Okay. So you start with spreadsheets. Most companies start with spreadsheets. Yes, of course, Excel is always, still embedded in everything we do, right? So we start with spreadsheets. Those spreadsheets may have prices. Well, the prices may be stale, maybe old, depending on your price and your pricing catalog. But you've got to get the right pricing for your product, right? So as you start looking at the sales agreement that you're going to present to the client and the quote and the order, you've got to have the right price list. You got to have the right part numbers. You got to have the parts configuration. You got to make sure you have compatibility between your prices, between your product configuration. Make sure two products don't have conflicting configuration, so you end up with some problems in the actual order. So now you've got your configuration, and you may have multi-tiered configuration. You may have bundled configurations. You may have individual products being sold that you can sell separately. Something you can combine. How you bundle the pricing. All that is part of your product complexity and your pricing complexity. And if you're doing that through spreadsheets, good luck. Okay, we have some customers that have each project, not even all the products. Each project can have up to 20,000 SKUs in it. And try to manage that through spreadsheet, and they do. And they have a tremendous problem with time to market and getting quotes out to the customer and actually signing and inking and closing the deal so they can get the revenue going. So here's what's happened next. You got the parts, you've got your price list. You got to look at the market price. What's the market price? What's your margins? Are you cost plus? Are you doing a product sale? Are you doing a services sale? Are you doing a services engagement, which have maybe complex, where you have products and services, whether you are a subscription based or not, or recurring pricing. All that is complexity that you need to think about on your product configuration side, the whole product information management piece of that, which all that setup takes time and effort to simplify so your customer can buy what they want and not be encumbered by how you package it and put it together, right? So you got the consumer price list. You've got to look at the discounts, how your discounts play together. All that may only bring you to the place where now you realize that you may have some of the requirements may drive some complexity around engineering. You may have to do some specifications on your design or your services or your implementation. You got to look at your cost plus model on that too. You got to think about where you're sourcing it. Are you sourcing it onshore, offshore, nearshore, whatever you're pricing, or are you using resellers in that process? How are you going to create your margins? So this is tick, tick, tick. The clock's ticking. All this takes time. Now you got to do some design work potentially. You may have to do some engineering drawings. You may want to do some configuration, send it back to the client, make sure that they have an idea on the configure to order or even the engineering to order pieces of that order. All that has to be checked and cross-checked and triple-checked against the layers of your compatibility rules of your products and services, your engineering cost, your engineering cost model. Your pricing team may be getting involved at that point, and quite frankly, the pricing team may be looking at many aspects of pricing, right? Regional, geographic, where you're sourcing your products from, where you're selling it from. All that is embedded in the price approval process, right? So guess what? Now you have somebody who's going to check the quality of the product that you're going to sell, and it's going to go through a governance review, not governance. So you got a governance review. You may have to do add-ons. You may have to go get some third-party add-on products embedded in the solution. So now you got a package pricing, which includes third-party vendors pricing. You got to get the vendor prices. Make sure it's current. Make sure you have your royalties figured out. How you have minimum royalties. What the royalty plans on that. You think about the services from your third parties, including your services. They got to deal with the fact that client is going to review this, and you're going to go through change control. If you go through change control, you go all the way back to the beginning where you start with your pricing and you own your discounts, and you look at your price model. And before you can finalize that deal, you've got more things to do. You now got to go through approvals. Some of our clients go through a ton of approvals. 20, 30 different individuals or groups have to review a price that before it goes out the door. In one of our clients that we've recently talked to, they have each project can have up to 20,000 individual SKUs that are sold in various places, in various ways. That represents about 300 to 500 different products in various configurations, right? So this could be an engineering to order or configure to order process. And oh, by the way, not all those life cycles start with the sales process. They may start with a discussion at the engineering level, and the process life cycle can really get complicated depending on where you start and where you end. But all that goes through approvals. All those approvals have to go through routing, and people have to be available to do all these approvals, and the timeliness through that. Sometimes people are on the road, they're selling, they're not ready to approve, and so all the integration of your desktop, your mobile devices, all that through approval templates, and all you want is a yes or no from them. Or maybe they have to, based on the price of the deal, you get through multiple tiers and go all the way to the CFO level for approvals and this thing. Now, you think you're done, you've got all the approvals, but no, you're not. You've got to go through the contract side of this, which is, of course, you may have to source and write it, have a contract that goes to your client because it includes product services from both yourself as well as possibly third party, and make sure you have the buyer side of the contract and the seller side of the contract covered on the behind the scenes. Make sure all those are in place with your suppliers, and then you go through Word documents, cut and paste, redlining. All that work is done. You got to proofread it. You got to go through the final approvals. You got to make sure that every language in that region where the product is being bought or sold is included in your languaging, so you have terminology and you have specifications that have to go in the legal context that has to be done, and all that requires legal approval, right? And all that requires a process that is on top of the fact that you've got a price and a product solution now figured out, and now you have to write the contract behind it. You get all that done, and you finally end up where you have a contract that goes to the client. Of course, they're not going to accept it on the first round. You're going to go back through the redlining process. All that is your client, your contract lifecycle management. That's the second half of the problem. The first half is the configure price quote. The second half is your contract lifecycle. All that contract lifecycle could be automated if you had the system where you have a unified database where you have all your contracts and your prices and your terminologies and your regions based on your contract of buyer and seller included. All that is a process and a half that you will go through, and when you're finally done, you submit and you get the contract done. Now, that is when the contract is done, and you're well on your yellow brick road up to the towers in the sky. That is the life cycle that we have experienced with so many of our customers, and we have built our expertise in this exact area. We help jumpstart our clients because a lot of the problem is the product information management. It is in the standardization of how you sell, the approval routing process, in the rules behind this, the compatibility rules, exclusion rules, inclusion rules. All that is done in a jumpstart program. And we're going to cover that in our Reimagine online webinar. So please come and join us there. We will cover these, and we'll cover specifically how you can do all this also and push it through an omni-channel distribution model, so you can have your clients interact with you on a B2B e-commerce portal where all these rules are consistent between how you sell to your end client, your resellers, your wholesalers, your internal salespeople can use this, the e-commerce portal, B2B e-commerce portal, and have a unified experience where you have all your rules in one place, and you have the ability to see transparency, not just of your sales pipeline, but also your reseller sales pipeline, and have that visible, and have the ability to see forecast on your revenue, and be able to project how you need to position your engineering teams to manage and handle this workload that's coming at you. Okay, so we'd love to see you at the Reimagine event on July 15th. It is an all-day event. Please be our guest. We will send you a link to this to the webinar. It is actually on this video as well. We will cover B2B e-commerce. We will cover the strategic partnership with Apttus that is allowing us to take our B2B e-commerce product Rise to the market and jumpstart these programs through a knowledge, with all the knowledge and experience that we've had in the CPQ arena for the last 10 years. And quite frankly, that's just under the brand name of Forsys. We have many years of experience and depth of experience that goes well beyond that with our team members, that we can help you navigate your yellow brick road. So we'll see you there, and hopefully we can answer some more questions, maybe very more specific. There will be an opportunity to interact with our team and the engineers and our people directly in the webinar about topics that might be of direct interest to you that may not relate to this life cycle I just talked about. And it may be things like, how do I do a visualization, 3D visualization on my catalog? How can I manipulate my configure to order on the fly and have my cart experience reflect all the visual changes I can do and visualize in a 3D model? We're doing a demo on that as well, so come see our booth, and you'll see a lot of cool stuff that we're hitting at the webinar. So I'll see you there. Thanks a lot for spending the time.